Welcome back, everybody. My next guest tonight is a brilliant physician, geneticist, and Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient who served as the director of the National Institutes of Health for 12 years. Please welcome back to The Late Show, Dr. Francis Collins. What do you... No, we're here to talk about your book, The Road... You're very generous. The Road to Wisdom is your book.
This would be yours, and we are, as of today, publication date twins. How about that?
Very nice. Thank you, very good. Would you like... Sign that to...
Yes, please sign that.
To Frankie Collins.
Wait, it's Francis. I don't use that other kind of name.
Okay. To Francis.
You can write a whole paragraph if you'd like about how much you admire me and how you followed my career for all these years, and you're so glad. This is the high point of your whole year to have me on your program.
To Francis.
Said all that.
With love and butter, Stephen. Put that right over there.
Butter.
Now,
baby.
Once again, the new book is The Road to Wisdom. You're now retired as the head of the NIH. You said the goal of the book is to show a way out of the division and anger that have overtaken our society. That would be lovely. How do we pull the car out of the ditch?
Well, yeah, talk about this road to wisdom. We're all on that road, aren't we? I am, certainly, trying to figure out how you take knowledge and then add things to that, like understanding and maybe even a moral foundation and some insights and some common sense. That's what wisdom really is. But of course, read the book of Proverbs, and that'll tell you a lot more than what I could possibly say. But our road to wisdom for each of us individually, and I think right now collectively, has kind of hit a lot of bumps. And some of us feel like that pothole really broke the axle, and I think I'm over here in the ditch, and what happened to us?
What are the obstacles to wisdom?
Well, first of all, you need to have a good grasp on what is truth.
Well,
and there is such a thing.
That is a real debate. As Pilate said, what is truth?
He did, and Jesus did not answer, and so I'm a little reluctant to give a very detailed answer in front of you and all these people. But let's be clear, truth really matters, and it really exists. And for somebody to say that might be true for you, but it's not true for me, is okay about the opinion about a movie. It's not okay about whether the formula of water is H2O. It's not okay about whether the earth goes around the sun, and the flat earth people are basically saying, well, that's not true for me.
Right.
We're in trouble, folks. There are such things as established facts, and they don't care how you feel about them. Right?
Well, that was brought to the fore. There's a long thread of sort of anti-intellectualism in America. The idea that my hunch based on some Googling is as good as your lifetime of study.
Do your own research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that came to the fore really in COVID. When we're all isolated and had a lot of time to do our own research. And it's not like doing research is a bad thing, but why do you think there has been such a pushback against empirical knowledge or the scientific method about repeatable results?
Well, a lot of it is based upon the fact that our society is so polarized about everything. And if you're off in one particular tribal group, and there's those other people over there who think science is good, then you have to think science is not good. And the distrust in science has grown steadily, especially during COVID. Just at the point, Stephen, where the COVID vaccine, I would very safely estimate, would be seen as one of the greatest scientific achievements of humanity ever. A vaccine that was 95% effective and saved.
Effective, very specifically, it's important to say effective in preventing hospitalization and death.
Yes.
Not from you getting it. You get it, but it diminished.
It reduces your likelihood of getting it, but in terms of getting really sick, it reduces it very, very significantly. And somehow, though, that message was not presented in a way, and I hold myself accountable for some of the science communication failures. It didn't quite come across. Maybe it was too much.
I'm glad you said it and I didn't have to.
I knew where you were going. I didn't want to. So we should have said, with more humility, here's the best we can do at a given day about what we've learned about this virus, because we were learning all the way on. It would have been a great lesson about how science works, but instead we often tried to go to the punchiest thing of the day that could be put forward without putting those caveats in there. But when it came to the vaccine, This was a vaccine that really everybody looking at the data would have to say, this is something I want. But 50 million Americans said no. And Stephen, the estimates are from the Kaiser Family Foundation that between July of 21 and April of 22, when vaccines were available and free to everybody, 234,000 Americans died unnecessarily because of misinformation. The culture wars killed a lot of people.
You are a man of faith and a man of science, and you say that your faith does not conflict with your science. How does it inform it?
I'm fortunate, I think, to be able to have a worldview that both encompasses rigorous science about how nature works, but also has the opportunity to ask and answer questions that science can't help me with, like, why am I here? And is there a God? And why is there something instead of nothing? It seems to me that being able to bring both of those perspectives together on any given day and not have to keep them off in separate parts of your brain is a real wonderful gift. Francis Bacon, way back centuries ago, said God gave us two books. He gave us the book of God's words, the Bible, but he gave us the book of God's works, nature. They're both God's books, so being able to study both of them on any given Thursday is like a really wonderful experience. And for me, that's been a critical part of being able to size up complicated issues and trying to ask myself, am I doing the right thing?
I have just a moment here before we have to go, and I have a friend who is a physician. He wanted me to ask you a question.
Sure.
He said that, obviously we all could use some endorphins from time to time, and that one of the best ways to get endorphins is through exercise. What are the other ways that we ourselves produce our own endorphins and basically our own opiate? What are the best ways to do that?
I'm glad you're being clear about the endogenous opioids and not the other ones.
Exactly,
Yes.
the ones that we produce ourselves.
Well, one that we're studying intensively now is music. When you listen to a piece of music that really moves you, whoa. It gives you a chill. It causes you to suddenly feel transported. You just dumped a whole bunch of dopamine in your ventral striatum. And wow.
I knew that was happening.
And wow. And that is a whole field, music therapy, that has now gotten together with neuroscientists to try to figure out how to make this even better. Project I'm working on with Renee Fleming. And a lot of people are seeing this as a window, both into how the brain works, but how we could come up with something that would help people who are suffering from chronic pain or PTSD without having to take a pill. Listen to the right kind of music, you'll be much better.
Doctor, thank you so much for being here. Right? That's right. His book, The Road to Wisdom, is available now. Dr. Francis Collins, everybody. We'll be right back.